Welcome to another Tap In on Tuesdays, where we use EFT tapping to help strengthen your authentic creative connection. Today, we are going to be tapping on critics and composure. There was an experience I had a few years ago at a store where I believe there was only one person working at the register and there was no other way to pay. So I had one or two people in front of me, and this young man was new at his job. He was keeping things moving. He was very professional, very friendly, and whatnot. And something happened with the person, one or two people in front of me. And somebody who was older and more experienced, still young, but older and more experienced, came over and had to help. And she was not very nice about it. She was telling him, you have to do it like this, blah, 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 blah. She's like very frantic, very kind of attacking him for it. And he said, it makes sense, but nobody told me. I've never done that before. Like he explained it. I understand. I just didn't know. And she calmed down and matched his calm tone because even though he was clearly upset by this, he was startled. He wasn't expecting that. It was interesting to note how he held his composure. He was very professional. He kept himself together. He did not react to her reaction. And so she met him and got gentler. And she said, okay, they resolved everything. She left. He finishes up. When I'm getting to the point where my checkout process is over, I had watched him from that experience, and then I watched him stay professional, stay composed, clearly shaken, but keeping doing his job well. And I leaned in and I said, you did a really great job handling that situation. And he couldn't look at me. He wasn't really making eye contact as much because he was upset, but he went like this, like, thank you. Because what I just did was reinforced the positive thing that he had just done. He stayed so composed in that situation where so many other people would have escalated and gotten upset with her and with her being attacked in the way that it was, because he was clearly not trying to cause an issue. He was trying to do his job, and he was doing a good job. So I think about how those little exchanges, which I absolutely love being a part of. I love complimenting people on things. I'll be out for a walk, and if I see someone in their yard, I'll compliment their yard, and they light up, or whatever it might be. When I'm out and about interacting with people, if I can give them some kind of positive encouragement, I enjoy doing that. But when I see it in a situation like this, and I'm just so impressed, and then I see that that comment made such an impact on him because he didn't have words for it. And he was really choked up, and I'm sure he probably really enjoyed when he got his break. I think about how we have so much noise, we have so much opinions and criticism and feedback and going out and around where, especially on the internet, where it's like, that person would not say that to someone's face. They wouldn't treat them that way in person. It's different when you're behind a screen, when they aren't right there with you. And that is what it is. But let's start tapping on this because it's a lot of talking, but it's setting it up. There will always be critics. There will be people who are high strung. There will be people who are discontent. And there will be people who, because they feel badly, they feel a little better putting someone else down. There will be people who react strongly. There will be people who don't care what they say or what impact it has. And that's okay. It's okay that some people don't like other people's behavior or creative projects or choices. That's okay. I have the choice to stay composed, and I choose to do that. And I have a choice on what kind of feedback I give people, on what kind of feedback I receive, not what I hear, but what I actually take in and receive. And I choose to be feeling the best I can with what I say to others and what I receive from others. Eyebrow point. People have a lot of opinions. Side of the eye. And I have opinions too. Under the eye. And I know that I like to be purposeful when I voice my opinions. Under the nose. If it's not going to help somebody to have a better experience, I generally don't say it. Under the mouth. Sometimes I do anyway. Collarbone. And I know that there are a lot of people, especially on the internet, who just want to say whatever they want to say. Under the arm. And sometimes it's because they are craving connection and they would rather have a negative connection than a positive interaction. Top of the head. Because some response is more than no response. Eyebrow. Oh, yeah, it's kind of a lot sometimes. Side of the eye. I like seeing people having respectful exchanges. Under the eye. I really appreciate when people stay composed, even when something goes wrong, if you want to call it that. Under the nose. I appreciate when people stay composed when it's like other people are attacking them. Under the mouth. Because what that shows me is that they are very clear in their knowing of who they are. Collarbone. It shows me that they are strong and that they don't need to sink to lower levels. Under the arm. And I so appreciate that. Top of the head. Because that is inspiring and it feels way better. Eyebrow. It's more fun to see people lift each other up than put each other down. Side of the eye. It feels really good to say something that is encouraging and affirming to someone and see the positive impact. Under the eye. And I really, 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 really love that I can be a part of that sort of situation. Under the nose. And when it comes to my own endeavors, I want to do the same thing. Under the mouth. I'm not doing it to please the critics. Collarbone. I'm doing the things that I enjoy doing, and I'm expressing myself because it feels good and because I enjoy it. Under the arm. And I acknowledge that not everybody is going to appreciate that or like what I do. Top of the head. So I'm not trying to silence the critics. Eyebrow. I don't really care. They're going to be there. Side of the eye. My aim is to feel really good and to help be one of the positive instead of the negative. For myself and what I think and say about my own creations, and for others and what they create too. Because if more people had composed, gentle responses instead of reactions, we'd have a much more peaceful experience here. We'd have a lot more positive and feel good exchanges. And we'd even look forward to that and the times when we might feel derailed. Because knowing what we know and being intentional about our opinions and our thoughts and our responses means that we're creating more of the things that we want, and means that people feel confident and comfortable and safe doing so. Think how much better it would be if people felt secure in who they are and expressing themselves. Even when they do something that they didn't know that they weren't supposed to do. How else do you know what you didn't know until you know you didn't know it? I'm not going to silence the critic. I'm just going to listen to the stuff that resonates with what feels good. And I'm also only going to speak that which also feels good. And I'm going to let that feel good for everyone involved. Okay. If you want to continue tapping on certain situations, certain feedback, whether it was positive or negative, whether it felt like criticism or not, because feedback and criticism is a type of feedback, but like I explained, like that was actually really positive feedback that I gave to that young man, and I know that impacted him. That shored up the kind of enthusiasm and the kind of clarity with what he knows about himself. And I could tell from that exchange. And if you think of something like that and how you've seen your own impact, or you've had an experience where you've been on the receiving end of that, and somebody recognized when you stood up like that and you stayed composed and you held your ground, so to speak, you know how that little interaction can make such a huge difference in how you carry yourself and how you continue on and your confidence in doing so. The more we can do that, the better. Whether you're doing that for yourself and your own creations or anyone else, whether you're giving or receiving it, I just imagine, what if we did that instead? What if our baseline was positive stuff, the compliments, the things that you're doing well, and the acceptance of you don't know what you don't know, so you're going to learn it as you go. It would be absolutely amazing, and we'd have so much more fun. So, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next Tuesday.